Hello and welcome to Clipping In. Tuesday the 19th of March, and in search of some flatter miles I'm heading out towards Ackworth and Asken. There's some fairly heavy rain this morning. Thankfully it stopped around 8:30, and with the higher double-digit temperatures, the roads are drying out nicely. So this is day 4 of the Solstice 500, and I'm hoping to get around 80 miles, 130 kilometers today. But what's that? What do you do on days 2 and 3? Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Here's something I prepared earlier. Hello from day 2, Sunday, March the 17th. What's it like in the future? Have there been any great technological advances while I've been away? Oh, and more importantly, how did Leeds go on against Millwall? Now, so yeah, day 2, I did the almost 60 miles on day 1, and my original intention was to do something around 80 miles today, 150k, something like that. But I had a terrible night with 2 separate bouts of cramp. And what I'm putting it down to is changing from winter bike position to summer bike position. I got the tape measure out this morning, and I found that saddle height from top of the saddle to bottom bracket was within about 3 mil. But I also found that the saddle layback was about 10 mil further behind the bracket on the titanium bike, and also the Arion saddle on that bike is longer than the Rolls saddle on this winter bike that I've been using. So the sort of effective layback from my pedaling position could be even more. But also there's our old friend crank length on the winter Geos. Because it was my dad's bike, I'm running 170 cranks on there. On the titanium bike, I'm running 172.5. So you add those 3 factors together, the circle that's been described as you pedal, and those slightly different dimensions. And I think what I've done, I stretched myself a little bit too much. It's something that it's easy to do. Ask Chris Froome about it. But it's easy to do because, you know, you put one bike away, you mothball it, and then ideally you'd bring it out and you'd sort of get used to it with a few 15-20 milers. But instead, because I was pushed for time, I just checked it over on the work stand, wheeled it out, wham, 60 mile in the hills, and my legs and lower back have been complaining ever since. Factor in the rain, what I've done, I've cut that ambitious 80 mile target in half. I'm doing 40 miles in the Woolly Stane Cross area, in the rain, on the winter Geos with the mudguards. Good to be out though. Hello from day 3, back in the Pennines, back on the Skye Road, but this time the Terrier is going to encounter Home Moss, the local mountain. Coming up into Home Village now, the last village before Home Moss really opens out. You can see it on the skyline there with the mast. Quite intimidating, especially when your legs feel like mine do. And here's the view from the roof of the world, or at least from Home Moss. I couldn't film climbing that. Firstly, it was a tough climb, but also it's a headwind. quite a strong one, so I needed both hands on the bars, and I needed, I'm glad of a compact chain set. Good grief. The worst part there, I was on 34, 32. Whew. I'm not sure what the descent's going to be like now, but camera going away, keep the miles ticking. Good result for Leeds, wasn't it? See you on day 4. I've got about 30 miles in now. As long as the road's flat, I don't feel too bad. But yeah, yesterday's ride, day 3, all those hills with home moss and a headwind, that really took it out of me. Recovery is, I've mentioned before that anything I thought I knew about my own recovery in the 90s and the 2000s doesn't apply at this age. I mentioned last year that by paying attention to nutrition on the bike and then immediate post-ride recovery, you can make the most of whatever recovery powers you have, but can't turn the clock back. I noticed, even though I took things reasonably steady on day 1, my legs were starting to feel it even as early as day 2. Hopefully today's ride will see me 400k when I get home, so that's front loading the 508 target. Swooping in towards Wentbridge, and if you look closely on the hill behind, you can see the A1 through the trees, centre. Quite a different landscape now. Opens out into these green fields, and then eventually even further east you get to that big sort of floodplain above Doncaster. I'm heading towards Norton, and then it'll be Asken after that. You can see some cars on the Skyline Road, that's where we're going. A19 from Asken up to Whitley, and then Cridling Stubbs I'll turn left. Flat road. Coming into Darrington now. 48 miles on the clock. I've completely unravelled now. The accumulative tiredness has caught up with me. There was a section of headwind along Cridling Stubbs. Oh dear me, felt like home moss. I've got a bit of a stiffness or a pain in my shoulder as well. I'm just you know, not in good nick, but there's only one way to get in better nick, and that's keep at it. I've noticed a few people on Strava have been nipping out to Spain, banging in the big mileage in the good weather, kick-starting the season ahead. Excellent stuff. I think, and then there are a few other people who are going out there at Easter with the same intent. Marvellous. I used to try and take a week's holiday mid-March in the racing season and do the same, a sort of, you know, a proper training camp with a mix of mileage and threshold stuff and race specific training. It was really nice after a winter where you're juggling everything, to have that week where your only concern is riding your bike, resting, cleaning your bike and getting ready to go out again. I used to go abroad too, to Cumbria. Bit of a gap there in the filming record. Yes, I've been hanging on since 50 miles. Don't know what I've been hanging on to, but no, I couldn't. You needed to concentrate just on keeping going safely rather than filming. Right, I'm within 3 miles from home. I do hope that this overload effort actually, when it comes through and I've had a chance to recharge a bit, I hope eventually it does me some good and doesn't just make me tired. It always used to work in my 20s and 30s, but who knows at this age, all bets are off. Right, should have an easier day tomorrow, but what I'll do, I'll sign off for this one and I'll see you with a compilation of parts 5, 6, 7, 8 in a few days. Bye bye for now.